The day the college entrance exam scores were released, I broke up with my school beauty girlfriend and blocked all contact methods. There was no argument and no betrayal. It's just that a young boy tasted the forbidden fruit of love too soon. The person I lost my head for happened to be a rich heiress, while I was an orphan raised by many families. If we kept dating, I'd only drag her down. Even leaving education aside, the gap in our backgrounds is enough for me to make up for my whole life. But all of this was changed because several luxury cars parked downstairs at my building. And everything changed. That day, I received an admission letter from Jinling University, one of the top schools in China, sent to me. But I couldn't feel happy at all. Breaking up with my first love. It would be a lie to say it didn't hurt. Fortunately, the care from my neighbors brought me a little comfort. They all congratulated me for getting into a top university. But when it was time to make lunch, I looked at the empty, clean rice bin in front of me and couldn't help but feel a bit helpless. Who would have thought me, a top student, right now couldn't even afford a meal? The next moment, I rushed out the door, planning to withdraw some money. After all, I had to work on the construction site carrying bricks at 1 p.m. I couldn't afford to be late. My only bank card held all my savings from all these years, my scholarship from school, and donations from caring people in society, a total of 110,000 yuan. I took out some money and bought 50 cents worth of noodles for lunch. Last year, I grew garlic in a big pot on the balcony. So for lunch today, I'll have garlic noodle soup, adding up to 50 cents spent and a little tap water that cost money. The moment I inserted my card, I suddenly felt dizzy and quickly grabbed the handrail. I thought it was just low blood sugar and that I'd feel better in a moment. But then a voice rang in my head saying I spent 200,000 yuan and activated the super rich system. I shook my head. These scammers now even dare to tamper with ATMs. Then I withdrew 200 yuan and left with my card. I turned around with my noodles and headed home. All the neighbors I met along the way called out, "Zhao! A big crowd is gathered downstairs at your building. Hurry and go see what's going on." Yeah, there are quite a lot of people. Lots of cars too. Isn't your high school homeroom teacher here as well? Hearing this, I quickly sped up. Logically, I don't have any relatives nearby. And there were so many cars. They were probably people coming to help the poor. I turned the corner on my street and hid behind a tree trunk to check things out. There were lots of people, mostly in suits and ties, plus 3 stretch limos. After taking a moment to gather myself, I gripped my bag of noodles tightly and slowly stepped out from behind the tree, calmly walked through the crowd toward my building. But as soon as my homeroom teacher saw me, she hurried over and grabbed my arm. "Zhao Fen, your birth parents have found you. Go meet them quickly. Oh, here, take a look at your DNA test results." I numbly took the papers and stared at them for a long time. No one around interrupted me. It was a long while before I finally looked up, even though I'd been preparing for this moment in my heart. When my homeroom teacher said those words, my heart still started pounding like crazy. It's been over 10 years. Only I know how much I've suffered. I once held out hope for my birth parents, but it usually only brought disappointment and loneliness. I glanced behind me and saw an old man and a middle-aged couple. All 3 had tears streaming down their faces, their bodies trembling. I took a deep breath, trying my hardest to stay calm inside. This wasn't a dream. I know what I look like. So the moment I saw the couple, I knew there was no mistake, because my appearance was almost carved from their molds. Facing the 3 tearful, hopeful faces, I took a step forward and managed to smile, but couldn't hold back the flood of tears in my eyes, and they streamed down uncontrollably. The middle-aged woman couldn't take it anymore and rushed over to me, pulled me into a hug and held me tight, then broke down and cried out, "Fan, Fan! Mom is so sorry. Mom is so sorry. You have suffered all these years. 18 whole years. Mom never stopped searching for you. My son has suffered. This is all Mom's fault. It's my fault I lost you. It's my fault I didn't find you right away." Suddenly, the woman stopped talking, took a big step back, and crying, slapped herself in the face over and over. The slap sounded crisp and clear. I quickly wiped my tears from my eyes and grabbed her hands. I'm not blind. This woman, only about 40 years old, already had white hair at her temples, obviously from years of missing me. Maybe she's lived in regret and guilt all these years. But the woman ignored me, still crying her eyes out, slapping herself in the face again and again. It's all my fault. My son has suffered so much. I could see her face swelling up. I let out a breath. I hadn't said this word in over 10 years. Using all the strength I had. Mom, this isn't your fault. You would never do it on purpose. Please stop hitting yourself. I held her hand tightly. Only then did Zhao's mother stop. She didn't even bother wiping away her tears, and just gently brushed my face with her hand. In the blink of an eye, my boy has grown up, tall but way too thin. Come, meet your useless father, and your grandpa. I was pulled over. Just now, I had also been watching my dad and grandpa. The old man looked fit and strong, full of energy, but he gripped his hands, holding back his tears, and his eyes were red from holding it in. The middle-aged man saw me looking at him. He quickly wiped his tears away, forced out a smile, but the tears kept flowing. He finally gave up trying to wipe them away, and stood there not knowing what to do, which made Zhao's mother angry. She kicked her husband hard on the butt. Took you so many years to find him. Useless. Zhao's father didn't talk back. He just gave a sheepish smile, smiling while tears still rolled down his cheeks. Men don't easily cry, unless they're really heartbroken.
His own son.
How could a father not care? He wanted to say something to me, but the words wouldn't come out. So he just covered his face and cried. I wiped away my own tears again, and took a couple minutes to compose myself, before I finally used a flat voice to awkwardly call him Dad. My boy, I've searched so painfully for you, and this man in his 50s or 60s, the man who built a business empire with his own hands, was now crying like a child. Today is a happy day. Crying all the time, how does that look? No more crying, any of you. The cane tapped on the ground, making a crisp sound. Only then did I wipe away my tears. I looked up and called out Grandpa. The old man had clearly wiped his tears in secret earlier. His eyelashes were still wet. But when he heard me call him Grandpa now, he couldn't help but smile. He reached into his pocket and took out a gold lock, half the size of a palm, stood on tiptoe, and hung it around my neck. Don't lose it again from now on. You've suffered a lot all these years out there. You're the only son of the Zhao family. Luckily, we got you back. We got you back. We finally got you back. I nodded. The locket around my neck felt heavy and made my neck ache. During that period, I gathered myself for a moment. None of you have eaten yet, right? I'll cook, so Mom can try my cooking. I lifted the noodles in my hand. 4 yuan worth should be enough for us. I won't count those attendants outside, since they probably aren't family. Which was true. After I opened the door to let my family in, Mother Zhao instinctively closed the door behind her. It was only after I got home that it hit me that I invited my family to stay and eat. But with our usual food, I wasn't sure if they could eat it. How about garlicky noodles? Before Mom could answer, old Master Zhao spoke first. Whatever you eat, we'll eat. I sighed softly, but didn't say anything. I quietly peeled garlic. Enough for 4 people. Last year's garlic harvest. We'd used up half in just this one meal. While I cooked, the 3 family members carefully looked around my place. The 2 rooms weren't large, but they were tidy. There was a hard plank bed, and the wall's paint was peeling, but covered with all kinds of award certificates. All of them were my honors. Mother Zhao wanted to see what was in my fridge, but after searching for a while, she realized she couldn't find it. Fan, where's your fridge? Haven't bought one yet. I'll start school in a month, so there's no need for a fridge. Before I could finish, Wang Qian was already in tears. No mother could bear to hear that. She stopped looking and said she wouldn't look no matter what. When she turned and saw me busy in the kitchen, she just stood there, staring at me in a daze. The noodles were already cooking, and half a plate of garlic sauce was ready. When I went to serve 2 bowls of noodles, poured some garlic sauce, and brought them to the table, suddenly I realized there only seemed to be 2 bowls at home. In less than a minute, I went to the neighbors to borrow 2 more, with 4 bowls of garlicky noodles on the table. The old man couldn't hold back any longer. Tears streamed down his face. He grabbed his chopsticks, picked up the noodles and started eating. His tears fell into the bowl. Half bitter, half salty. You all go ahead and eat. When you finish, just leave your bowls on the table. I'll head to the construction site now. Otherwise, I'll be late. The foreman's got quite a temper. As I said it, I started to get up and leave. But my father, Xiao Zhicheng, grabbed my arm. Forget it, it's way too hot today. You don't have to make any more money for the rest of your life. The money our family has will last you for 2 lifetimes. Here, take this card first. Xiao Zhicheng handed me a bank card. As his son, this was actually my first real interaction with him since we reunited. So I took it, feeling the card in my hand. I was overwhelmed with emotions. Wang Qian softly asked if I wanted to stay in Jinling or go back to Beijing. Old Master Zhao felt that question wasn't quite right and interrupted her, saying either Jinling or Beijing is fine. If you want to stay here, that's okay. But every week, you must come home for a couple days. If you go back to Beijing, that's even better. The Zhao family home base is there. Whatever you choose. You need to go to Beijing for the 2 months before school starts and stay with us for a while. There are some things we need to handle. Whenever the old man spoke, I never dared talk back. I just knew that wherever I end up, it'll be much better than now. Wang Qian spoke up too, telling me to pack my things. Since our flight is this afternoon, let's go home first. I nodded blankly. To be honest, happiness came too suddenly. Sometimes it's hard to get used to. In just one day, I'd gone from a penniless boy to a rich kid.
In a daze, I packed my things
And realized my tiny home didn't really have anything valuable. The most precious thing were the certificates on the wall and some of my study notes. Wang Qian stood on a stool, carefully removing my certificates from the wall one by one and packing them up. I washed the bowls and returned them to the neighbor. When I got back, I stood at the doorway for a while because I saw the neighbors standing not far away, watching, holding their bowls and their chopsticks. Since they really watched me grow up, I was always a sensible kid. And all these years, I never gave the neighbors any trouble. Seeing this scene, they understood that these people were truly my relatives. It had been over 10 years of searching. They knew about my hardships. That, in the past, I not only had to go to school, but also care for the seriously ill old man. Back then, I always looked sick and thin. Still so young, life was really tough. And it made their hearts ache.
honestly.
They wanted my real parents to find me even more than I did. Even more than I did. From a distance, I bowed deeply in their direction. The neighbors stepped aside right away and quietly left. They didn't want any part of the fuss. They just tried to help where they could. There was really nothing special to thank them for. It was all just lending a hand. Only a few old ladies were still standing there, smiling and chatting. Zhao Fan, if you get married, be sure to bring your wife back for us to see. We're all waiting for you. I definitely will. I wiped away my tears and turned back inside. At 1 p.m., I said goodbye to each of the neighbors. 3 stretch limos slowly drove out of this small city on the edge of Jinling. In the car, the family shared contact information. When I took out my old school phone, old Master Zhao was stunned. He took a deep breath, and Zhao Zhichang immediately called his assistant. 10 minutes later, an advanced smartphone was delivered. It was the most high-end model on the market. I unboxed it, inserted the SIM card, and turned it on. Then added contacts. I actually adapt to new things pretty quickly. Such a smart device. I figured it out in under 2.5 minutes. An extended phantom version. The seats inside are 2 rows by the windows, left and right. My mom and I sat together. Wang Qian had so much she wanted to say to me. After she gathered her thoughts, she spoke up seriously. Try to blend into your new life as soon as possible. Your lifestyle habits and your eating habits might need some adjustment, but don't feel too pressured. So your dad and I just thought of a solution. We set you a small goal. Let's transfer you some money first. Just try to gradually accept it. 300 million. There are no strict requirements. Just spend it however you want. Whenever you finish spending it, we'll talk. After hearing that, I was completely stunned. If I was earning a construction worker's wage, assuming $105 a day, 300 million would take me over 5,500 years to earn if I didn't eat or drink. More than 5,000 years. Chinese civilization only goes back 5,000 years. This day feels like a dream. I stuttered a little. I could only weakly ask, "Are you sure I'm really your son?" Don't get it wrong. So much money for nothing. I really don't feel settled. That question I asked instantly made all three of my loved ones laugh. My father, Zhao Shichang, directly handed me a document and gave it to me. But when I opened the document, I was suddenly stunned. I carefully read through the genetic test results on the document. Quietly, my eyes started tearing up against my will. Reflected in my eyes was the city fading outside the window. The car was heading towards the airport, but that voice kept echoing in my mind. Spend 200,000. Activate the God-tier tycoon system. Spend 200,000. Activate the God-tier tycoon system. The voice kept urging, even though I was seriously annoyed. I kept my cool and asked that voice in my mind, is 100,000 enough? How about 150,000? What about 170,000? Main thing is, I honestly don't know what to spend money on. I haven't decided what I want yet. How should I spend it? I can't just buy stuff that's useless to me. I'm serious. I really don't know what to buy. I don't play games. I don't smoke. I don't go to clubs. There's really nothing I can spend on. Sometimes I just read a few books. I can't possibly spend 200,000 just on books. While I was still thinking, a few lines popped up in my head again. Buy a car. Book a club in the big city. Get used to tipping others on a whim.
Take a trip overseas.
Recklessly acquire companies and get into research. After reading that, I couldn't help but rub my temples. I could already hear the sound of money burning. But maybe this is exactly how a new life starts. Life reshuffled. I should start thinking how to enjoy the days ahead. No more hardship in this life. My phone was linked to the black card Zhao Jichao gave me. I silently counted the zeros. After checking carefully, I was shocked to see there were really 1 billion in the account. I'll never forget how casually Zhao Jichao said, "That's your pocket money." Annoyed by the voice in my head and irritated, I opened a shopping app. As soon as I got near home, I started adding things to my cart. Never in my life did I imagine my first online shopping experience would start like this. I bought over 200 books in one go, all the ones I wanted. From Republic to the Classic of Mountains and Seas, from Being and Nothingness to The Thousand Cranes. I kept going until I couldn't think of any more to buy. I literally blanked on what else I wanted. Then I finally laughed out loud. People will always respect knowledge and ideas. And my mood soared thinking about the coming inspiration. But 200 books couldn't even add up to 200,000. My eyes went wide. I started looking around the website. Finally, I gritted my teeth, bought a royal oak for more than 150,000. I was even starting to breathe fast. My old self wouldn't have been worth 150,000 even if I sold myself. Mr. and Mrs. Zhao Jichang were right there the whole time, secretly glancing at my phone screen. When they saw I bought a watch for 150,000, they frowned slightly. Honestly, it didn't quite match my status, especially to Wang Qian, the capital's #1 young master, should at least wear a watch worth over 10 million. But neither of them said a word, since it's just the beginning after all. After I bought the watch, I got some other small items, dozens of things back and forth. Finally totaled up to 200,000. The moment I made the payment, that long-missed voice finally appeared in my mind. Total spending, 201,000. Congratulations, giant tycoon status unlocked, plus minor ascension plan. Fearless. Received 1 double cashback card. Young Master's daily guide and omnipotent trading system. Looking at the rewards from the system, my first reaction was to focus on the trading system. My heart fluttered. Increased by 1 centimeter. The system immediately quoted me 50,000 each. This is nuts. I was about to faint with shock and delight. Still basking in happiness, I suddenly heard my grandfather's old voice. The old man spoke up out of nowhere. Now that Fana is found, the marriage from back then still counts. Old man Lee talks about Fanner every year. The Lee family is famous for being proper and caring about face. Fanner is already 18. Time for the 2 kids to meet. Let them get to know each other. Develop some feelings. Marry whenever they feel like it. Zhao Jichang and Wang Qian both nodded. But I was totally confused. I could only ask, forcing myself, "What are you talking about?" Wang Qian casually replied, "We're talking about your child. Your fiancé. Let me show you her picture." I suddenly felt overwhelmed by all the info. But when my mom took out her phone to show me, I ended up sneaking a side glance. My heart skipped a beat. She really is my mom. This girl is gorgeous. Pure motherly love. Zhao Jichang was still thinking about that expensive watch I just bought. A watch that cost over 100,000. He was feeling complicated inside. A bit bittersweet. The kid had a rough time all these years. Even after having money, he's not used to splurging. After a soft sigh, he took off his own watch and put it on my wrist himself, speaking kindly like a vendor. Being born into this kind of family, there are probably too many things you can't control. Let me give you an example. When you drive, you can only drive top-tier cars. Even driving an off-brand supercar attracts criticism because it doesn't match your status. Just like this watch I'm wearing. A 20 million franc Muller. Only when I wear this watch can I avoid being mocked or looked down upon by people of the same status. Being looked down on is my son's only legacy. Do you understand what I mean? I nodded and followed my relatives out of the car. I sighed silently. Turns out, even the rich live such stressful lives. But since I'm now part of this family, I shouldn't bring shame to the family. I'll send that 150,000 yuan watch to my homeroom teacher later. He's always been good to me, and that was back when I was an orphan. Not about the price. It's just a simple gift. That teacher is a good person. Wearing my father's watch, I boarded a plane for the first time. So from this moment on, my entire impression of flying would probably be defined by luxury private jets. People always like to judge others based on their own experiences. The planes I've flown look like this, so I assume everyone's planes are similar. Being born into a wealthy family can also mean missing out on facts and truths. The pretty flight attendants on the plane are great. Maybe they were even arranged by my family. Brand new clothes made of fine fabrics were delivered to my lounge. Clothes in luxurious gift boxes. It's my first time wearing them. The styles are beautiful, and the fabric feels premium. There are also shoes. By now, I pretty much know what awaits me when I return to Beijing. After all, when a wealthy Beijing family retrieves a missing child, all their acquaintances will want to take a look. Just about everyone who's close will show up. I'm carrying the future of the Zhao family. There will be a big reception for me. After getting cleaned up, I think the new outfit fits me perfectly. As for my looks and vibe, aside from being a little thin, I say I look energetic and tough. Temperament really is an elusive thing. When I held the black card with 1 billion yuan my dad gave me, I could feel my demeanor quietly changing. As for what exactly was changing, I couldn't really say. When I sat on the sofa in the cabin, with sunlight shining on my face through the window, only then did I realize that maybe I really wasn't that orphan boy anymore. When the flight attendant bent over and handed me fruit and meals, even the last bit of inferiority in me disappeared. The gap between inferiority and pride feels as light as a feather compared to life's big upswing. Right now, I'm finally at peace, with the courage to truly be myself. An hour or so later, the plane landed. I walked beside my mother, supporting the old man. The old man trembled with excitement. Losing his bloodline had always been his deepest pain, leaving him unable to lift his head among his old friends in Beijing for over a decade. He couldn't hold his head up. Now that his real grandson is back, who would dare laugh at the Zhao family now? Who can criticize the Zhao family anymore? All those years of private mockery, and today, even now with the old man's stern face, I can tell what expressions of pride will soon be on my grandfather's face. A few of us slowly got off the plane and got into the car. Xiaofan, we'll be home in about 10 minutes. Our house is huge. If you don't feel like socializing later, you can go rest in your room with the butler. I showed a slight smile and gently shook my head. I'm already back now, so it's better to meet everyone. Let them get used to my face, so people won't look down on me. After all, I'm a top student. There's no way your kid would be timid or weak. And I'd never embarrass you. Wang Tian's tears flowed again. Zhao Zhichang simply watched his wife in silence, deeply moved. But the old man couldn't help but burst into laughter at that moment. His voice was loud and clear, as if all the frustration and gloom of the past decade were released today with this laughter. It couldn't be more satisfying. With this one laugh, he kept laughing all the way to the Zhao family mansion gates. The whole way was filled with cheer, that inner joy, and the unstoppable flow of kinship. At this moment, it's especially easy to feel moved. I saw so many people, and even a red carpet. There were even reporters with cameras. In the distance, that huge villa, you could see the red carpet stretched halfway down the road. Fireworks had already started going off, and the sky was filled with the sound of explosions. The sound of firecrackers shoots up to the sky. It's incredibly loud, mixed with whispers from the crowd. Everyone I see is dressed formally. They're just as polished as I am. Smiles are plastered on their faces, all to welcome me home. I support Grandpa. Grandpa's laughter shows no sign of stopping. He's even more joyful, full of energy. Almost everyone is sizing me up. I wear a slight smile, radiating determination yet still refined, bending down for a handshake, speaking and acting with confidence and poise. Zhao fan suffered a lot out there. Not really, it's just fate preparing me for something great. Consider it a way to clear my mind. I never complain in my tone, just feeling relaxed, looking handsome and talented. This young man must stand out wherever he goes. Oh no, he just topped the college entrance exam. It's not a big deal, I nod, holding my head high. I'm still supporting Grandpa. We pass the 100-meter red carpet. The red carpet is 500 meters long. Halfway there, Grandpa finally speaks softly. Those standing on the sidelines don't need your attention. They aren't qualified enough. I keep walking with a smile, softly speaking as I go, to earn a good reputation. It's not about those you're close to, but those who are distant from us. As long as they don't speak ill of us. That's enough. Grandpa's laughter stops. He glances at me and breaks out in hearty laughter again. I see plenty of peers. Their gazes are even sharper. A whole group of young masters and ladies staring at me. Their cool arrogance shows, though they're smiling. But there's obvious disdain in their eyes. So I simply smile gently and nod. At the end of the red carpet, Grandpa points out for me, those are members of the Li family. Besides the Zhao family these years, only the Li family was most concerned about your whereabouts. That middle-aged couple are Li Maoxian's parents. You should address the man as uncle, and the woman as aunt with sincerity. Li Maoxian is actually my childhood fiancé. I glance across and meet the couple's gaze. I immediately smile and step forward. Tonight, Maoxian's flight is arriving from England. He'll be here too. You're both grown up now. It's time to spend more time together and build your relationship. He rushed home as soon as he heard the news about you yesterday.
He hurried back to China.
After seeing me, Li Maoxian's parents are visibly relieved. What worries them most is that I grew up elsewhere, with little experience, lacking confidence, having no manners. Even after years of the arrangement, no one wants their daughter to marry a loser. But when they observe my demeanor and aura, standing in front of them, they can't help but nod in approval. I escort Uncle and Aunt Li into the estate. Everything I see looks extremely luxurious. All the flowers and plants are ones I've never seen before. I warmly settle Uncle and Aunt Li. In the place the housekeeper prepared, the welcoming ceremony takes place in the villa's courtyard. The floor between the courtyard and the villa's entrance has been dug up, the marble tiles removed, replaced with half-meter gold bricks. A brand new car sits in the yard, covered by a black car cover. Several young, beautiful girls catch my eye, sitting beside me. They're lively and restless. They seem determined to show off for me. I'm not sure if I'm being vain, but their gazes are definitely fixed on me. I relax a little and naturally move closer to the girls. With a gentle smile, I softly speak.
Ladies,
Would you like something to drink? The girl with the brightest eyes waves her hand, signaling me to scoot over. Fearlessly, I sit next to her, just as I'm about to enjoy the scent and the atmosphere. She starts speaking. Sister Maoxian won't let us drink. She told us to help watch, so no guy gets led astray by other women. If he leaves, who would know? And this young master just came over on his own. Wait till Maoxian returns tonight, hee. I'm speechless, since you're not drinking. I'll go greet other guests then. I stand up as I finish speaking, ready to leave. I don't want to wait for Li Meoxian to come and greet me. I'm pulled back onto the sofa by the girl behind me. You can't leave, you have to stay in our sight. Otherwise, how will we know what you're up to? So many Beijing socialites are here today. I purse my lips and show a helpless expression. So I just sit down here. Luckily, these girls are quite nice. Going out now. Who knows how many people want to sabotage your marriage? Better to stay here. No one will trouble you. Besides, are we not attractive enough as ladies? Her eyes are truly bright. I turn my head, look at her seriously, smile and nod. After all the hustle, I get tired too. Just like Grandpa said, with my status, some people really have no right to approach me. It's not about looking down on anyone. Everyone here is wealthy. But when you talk to me, or want to hang out with me, you'll really feel the pressure. Someone is hosting the party. It feels like a celebration, but even more like my own meet and greet. I've realized, the sister with the bright eyes beside me actually knows a lot of people. Almost everyone I see in my field of view. She tells me their surname and background, what businesses they're in, how close the connections are. Some names truly shock me. I almost think I heard wrong, but now I see I wasn't mistaken. They're really the prominent figures I saw on TV and the internet. I just ate some fruit. A very proper-looking man in a suit and tie walks over to me. Mr. Zhao, I'm here to confirm your personal information. From now on, I'll be your personal lawyer. I will ask you some questions next. They are pretty important. Of course, you can also choose to postpone. Regarding the Zhao family's inheritance, group shares, properties and vehicles, and your romantic relationships and property disputes, I'll handle them all. I rub my head, then lean back silently on the sofa. After providing my ID info, I ask the lawyer to leave first. My status may have changed, but I don't need to change much myself. The things I believe are right, I won't alter them. At least not until I think things through. Because I know you should never arrogantly believe everything you do is correct. The beautiful sister's name is Li Shan. Apparently, she's Li Meoxian's cousin. She has a great personality, and she's witty. She manages to make me blush often. At 4:30 p.m., Wang Qian came to fetch me, handed me a bouquet of roses. She's back. I walked with the flowers to the end of the red carpet. Logically, everyone nowadays seeks freedom and spontaneity. But for some reason, I don't dislike the feeling of a planned marriage. Maybe when I was poor, I used to hope and envy marriage. The car that came was an ordinary Rolls-Royce. The driver opened the door. White shoes stepped onto the red carpet from the car. The girl looks over with scrutinizing eyes, seeing me holding the flowers, quietly sizing me up, taking her time. She finally walks forward and reaches out her hand. I hand over the flowers. Li Meoxian doesn't take them, but just stares at my eyes, stunned. I still reach out and gently take her hand. From her face, I feel that Li Meoxian's demeanor is a bit cold, but her palm is warm and friendly. Not far along, I hear Li Meoxian, with the voice from Qingquan Temple. After getting off the plane, I contacted your high school homeroom teacher, asked about your character, knowledge, and qualities, inquired about your living environment, attitude, and outlook. Your teacher said you excel academically and work hard. She paused for a moment after speaking, looked at me, then continued. I hope being with you will allow me to see your best self, and together, we can both become better. Her words are gentle and genuine. More of them are willing to accept this kind of arranged equality. A loving, positive, romantic relationship and marriage. As for who's more outstanding, I wouldn't dare to speak out in front of a Cambridge senior. She's also very impressive. When we walked through the villa's main gate, although we let go of each other's hands, Li Meoxian stayed right by my side the whole time. Our steps were steady, showing even more intimacy. When the orchestra started playing,
It was as if an invisible voice
was announcing my return. The welcome ceremony began. Fortunately, before this, I had learned most guests' identities from Li Shan. That way, I wouldn't seem awkward when talking to people. On the contrary, I could discuss fields the guests were already familiar with, half to exchange knowledge, half to show awe and pay compliments. This tone and attitude in conversation, when put out in the open, gave guests an immediate impression that I was different from those typical young masters of Beijing. My starting point is one of maturity and wisdom, willing to manage social relationships. At my age, this demeanor would make people see me in a new light. In an age when people are most arrogant and prideful, doing steady and composed things is something to be praised. Li Maoxian went to change her outfit. She probably needed a more formal evening dress. I stood in a conspicuous spot, watching several old gentlemen walking out from the moon gate behind the rockery. Their laughter was bright and cheerful. Mr. Zhao pointed at me on stage for the other old-timers. All the old guys had big smiles on their faces, nodding to show they recognized me. From now on, we'd be on familiar terms. Mainly, if I ever need something, these old men would help out. Wang Qian stood with Li Maoxian's mother, animated and lively. All their happiness from the years seemed released today. Their wrinkles smoothed out. They couldn't stop smiling, standing on that spotlessly clean floor. Even though my feelings were complicated,
Luckily,
there was no set order for the line. I didn't have to give an overly passionate speech. What I had to do was just listen quietly. Uncle Wang Zhonglei gave me a Ferrari Enzo. Aunt gave me a Bugatti Veyron GT. Welcome home, fan. Aunt Jia Ming gifted a villa on the second ring road. Uncle Li Jianwei gave 5 villas in Shanghai. Aunt gave 5 villas in Nanjing. Jiang Le cash gift of 5 million yuan. Wu Dao, cash gift of 5 million yuan. Liu Keishen, cash gift of 3 million yuan. The Zhang family in Beijing, 5 million yuan. The Wang family in Beijing, 10 million yuan. I stood at the side, my scalp tingling listening to all that. Guess I really haven't seen much in life. Even beauties would have trouble handling this. The housekeeper's unhurried, steady, loud announcements. Every word struck a chord in my heart. It all sounded like a shower of money bullets. These are the most notable, willing to be made public. When it came to the last entries, the housekeeper announced with a smile. Fiancé Li Maoxian gifted a private jet. The crowd gave a symbolic round of applause. I glanced over to see Li Maoxian saluting in her new gown. I could see her collarbones shining. All right, I've been standing here long enough. Still, I joked with the crowd below. I'm truly happy to have so many people witness my return home. Deeply honored. Today, the Zhao family is truly graced with glory. You all came to support me today. In the future, I'll surely share prosperity with my friends. Now, not many dared to fully clap and laugh openly. Almost everyone turned their heads to look at the Zhao mansion. The family elder and Zhao Jicheng, when those in charge of the Zhao family, also gave me a thumbs up. Everyone clapped enthusiastically. This was the best news they'd heard today. In the past few decades, the Zhao family had almost single-handedly dominated and monopolized business interests. Only the Li family, as close allies, got any benefit, even if others sought cooperation. Zhao family didn't care for any minor profits, treating everyone with indifference. Completely ahead of the competition. Too high level for most to participate. This time, guests genuinely expressed admiration. Zhao Fan is truly a good person. I touched my nose, wondering if I'd said something wrong. Why are the people closest to me so excited they're blushing and twitching? Why do I feel like they're way more excited than me? Even happier than I am. As if they just found a long-lost father. Hollow formalities and empty words received such a wild response. I honestly didn't expect that. Clearly, I've seen too little. The brand new, covered cars in the middle of the venue seemed to be ignored. Zhao Jichang didn't want things to get too complicated. Too many tricks and games would probably wear me out. So he just tossed me the car keys. It seemed to be a Cullinan. I wasn't too sure. Had to check again. Until Li Maoxian confirmed it. I was finally reassured. What I'd just heard about the gifts from my uncle and aunt were all brands I'd never heard of. I was worried I wouldn't even have a car to drive in the future. Good thing my own father had thought it all through and gave me a boss-level ride too. The sun was setting. People who needed to leave had all gone one by one. The manor grew quiet again. Sunset light shone into the back garden. Everyone sitting in the gazebo was familiar. My parents, grandpa, and the Li family. Uncle, aunt, and Li Maoxian sat next to me. The girl was quiet and calm. Still, it's better to deal with the inheritance matters as soon as possible. Such a big family business. It's yours to inherit. You can play for another 20 years, but after 20 years, you must return to take over. And there's also part of the Li family's business. The family elder signaled to me. I immediately stood up to pour tea for uncle and aunt. Since both of you are here about the marriage, I won't say any more. You can get married anytime. Personally, I think it'd be good to have children early. Fan's already been accepted to a university in the south, so in the future, we'll move some Zhao family businesses south too. It's great to expand the market. Girl, you should come home more from studying abroad. Zhao Fan should also visit you more. For all I care, those Western things aren't that special. Girl, you might as well come back home to study. And keep Zhao Fan company. Arrangements have already been made. I've bought you that villa in Nanjing. Focus on your studies. Learn more about culture. Your homeroom teacher says. In high school, you were close to another girl in your class? You need to tell her these things. Explain yourself honestly. Our family and the Li family are relatives now. The only girl you can marry into the family is her. The previous instructions were all fine, but the last sentence made me unable to sit still. I quickly turned to look into Li Miaoxian's eyes, but saw nothing but calm in her gaze. I silently steadied myself. Maybe this is what being in a wealthy family means. All the unspoken rules I'm yet to learn. I'll have to pick them up slowly in the future. As I let out a sigh of relief, I suddenly felt a sharp pain in my waist. Turned and looked. It was Li Miaoxian twisting her fingers on me, still with that calm look. As night fell, the family dinner inside the villa was brewing. The adults sat drinking tea and chatting. Wang Qian pushed me to go talk heart to heart with Li Miaoxian. The garden was big. Delicate roses shone under the sunset and streetlights. Enchanting and beautiful. Don't stand in the sun anymore from now on. Your skin will get darker. I nodded. Working on the construction site really is sunny. I'll give you everything myself. The Li family's business will be yours too in the future. Just don't let me down. I only want your true heart. I won't let you down. Li Miaoxian nodded lightly. After a moment's thought, she finally spoke again. I'll just come back and keep you company. I heard that girl is at Peking University. One's in the south and one's in the north. He can't be with you either. I shook my head.
It's okay.
I can take care of myself. Li Miaoxian with crystal clear eyes. You don't understand? For a boy with your background and wealth, some things aren't up to you. There are too many temptations outside. I'll come back. As she spoke, Li Miaoxian looked peaceful. She gently rested her head on my shoulder. My body tensed up, but I still put my arm around her slender waist. She seemed a bit thinner. We grew even closer. The lights in all areas of the grand estate villa, once they're turned on, I feel like I'm in a noble, independent imperial city. Brilliant and dazzling. Radiant and captivating. I can't help but think of my small room. I could never bring myself to use electricity. No fan the entire summer. No air conditioning. Just a few water basins sitting there. To cool the air, sometimes sweat would drip down like rain. I would toss and turn, unable to sleep all night. Now, just sitting outside in the gazebo. There's even an air cooler. My circumstances have truly been turned upside down. The two of us sat here for a long time, until the distant city lit up in a brilliant display. Li Miaoxian finally spoke softly. It's probably time for dinner. I probably won't stay tonight. You just got back. You should take some time to get familiar with everything. I'll come keep you company tomorrow. I've already asked someone to prepare a list of luxury cars, watches, and luxury brands. Information on all the top global brands. Probably by tonight. The butler will have it delivered to your room. Let's postpone that matter for now. We're still young. You're still a little thin. Even some of your hair tips are white, malnourished. But as I said, when you're young, your body is still developing. You should stay away from those things. What's meant to be yours will be yours sooner or later. What Grandpa said. I don't want kids too early. But if you want to, I have no objections. Li Miaoxian turned his head. His cool eyes gazed into mine, with a bit of hope. I nodded and spoke calmly. Having children too soon isn't good for your body either. There's no rush. We have plenty of time ahead. We're not in a hurry. It's too soon to talk about this now.
Even if Li Miaoxian may not care.
I'll still respect him. Wow, time to eat. My hand was pulled towards the brightly lit area. I was hungry half an hour ago. The family dinner did not disappoint me. In my whole life, I've barely eaten any meat dishes. It's my first time seeing a feast like a whole Manchu hand banquet. Before I saw the food on the table, my mind was still stuck at garlic noodles. At best, it would have a couple more kinds of meat added. That would probably be the tastiest meal on earth. Then there are those familiar red braised and steamed dishes. Looking at the table full of countless delicacies, for some reason I felt a little emotional. It really smells amazing. Li Maixian had me sit down and spoke softly. Eat if you're hungry. Don't wait for them. You need to get stronger. That's how you'll be more manly. Li Maixian's demeanor is obviously cool. Even his eyes seem indifferent to everyone. But I've never heard warmer words from anyone else. Wang Qian lost her temper because Zhao Zhichang and Grandpa Zhao were dilly-dallying and didn't come for dinner. I've been well behaved, still waiting for him, feeling really upset inside. The big round table wasn't full. Not everyone had arrived. Not all the dishes were served. Seems like it was still a ways off. Xiaofan, try and see if there's anything you like. Wang Qian's eyes were red all day. I responded with a no. And as I slowly picked up my chopsticks to reach out, I suddenly felt a sense of unfamiliarity. I got a little too excited and forgot how to use chopsticks. I wanted my first bite to be something I'd never had before. But unfortunately, I'd never seen anything on the table. Even the things I had seen were now transformed into something else. I suddenly put my chopsticks down and froze there, feeling a sense of fear, afraid of what this wealthy life holds, fearing that I'm truly lacking knowledge. How to slowly fit into this life of wealth and privilege. So many details, so many rules and regulations. Suddenly, I felt my lips heat up, snapped back to my senses, looked down to see a piece of beautifully glazed meat, then caught Li Miaoxian's look, telling me to try it. This is braised pork that Mom made especially for you. I heard that all these years looking for you. Mom kept perfecting this dish, all so you could finally taste it today. No matter if you were ever found or not, this dish was always being perfected. No matter who you are, no matter what kind of life you choose, your family will always be by your side. Just be yourself. Looking into his eyes, then looking at my own mom. In a daze, I quickly lowered my head and opened my mouth, swallowed the braised pork from the Li family. The sourness in my nose instantly spread to my throat. I managed to hold back my sobbing. I closed my eyes, eyelashes trembling, silent, savoring the taste. For over a decade, I've barely had braised pork, but even so, I can tell. This dish is sweeter than any I've had, even a bit too rich, but it's delicious, tender and soft in my mouth, going down into my stomach, almost like a ball of warm, sweet fish. Before I could pick up more food myself, Li Maixian kept moving. He kept adding food to my plate. Gradually, my plate piled up. I just kept eating silently, occasionally saying out loud that it's delicious. In the end, I grabbed Li Maixian's wrist. Stop adding food for me. You should eat too. I started adding food for him. Only then did the atmosphere truly relax. Laughter gradually filled the table. Grandpa brought out a bottle of Mao Tai he'd kept for who knows how many years. Once the cap was opened, the aroma spread instantly. No matter what anyone said, Grandpa made me drink a cup. I don't know much about wine, but that fresh, fiery taste instantly hit my taste buds, straight from my mouth to my brain. I realized then that alcohol really is something special. All my messy thoughts immediately softened, turning into the strength of the liquor, sip after sip with millet. What a blissful numbness. So satisfying? Me, Zhao Fan, was simply born for this life of wealth. To hell with what anyone thinks. I'm just going to do what I want. If I think Li Maixian treats me well, I'll treat him well too. I'll marry her as my wife. So what if she drives a knockoff car? I just think those off-brand sports cars look cool. What I want is passion and speed. Li Maixian let out a gentle breath. Even though I was getting tipsy, this might not be a bad thing. It made me more at ease, more willing to embrace this long-lost comfort. First time in my life I got completely drunk. And it was my fiancé, Wang Qian, who helped me back to my room. She wanted to help me wash up before leaving and get the cradle ready. But in the blink of an eye, she, as my mother, couldn't help much anymore. Li Maixian's actions? He has always seen her as a good daughter-in-law, Today, the Li family gave me over 1 billion yuan worth of real estate. That's already enough to prove their intentions. Don't move. Let's soak your feet. The girl's gentle fingers softly patted my foot. Her voice was youthful and shy, clear and crisp. I let out a long sigh. I covered my face in silence. Li Maoxian didn't leave. After I got drunk, he chose to stay. Turn it up a little. Holding the hangover soup, the girl sat by my bedside, softly giving advice. You've never drunk before, and yet you drank so much at once. Chugging all at once can easily hurt your stomach. The butler brought over the custom-made brochures from top international brands. Li Maoxian handed them to me. Just take your time getting to know these. I'm already much more sober. Li Maoxian is really loud when she showers. The sound of water always makes my mind wander. Rather helpless. Boys grow up. It's really hard to control. While he was taking a shower, I finally had the energy and time to focus on the 4 things the system gave me. Just as I was marveling at how amazing the system's gifts were, I heard the sound coming from the bathroom. After you sober up, come over and wash up. I took off my clothes and habitually looked for a wash basin, but realized there was only a bathtub and a shower here. I didn't think much of it and yanked open the bathroom door. Hearing the door open, Lin Maoxian's gaze shot right at me. We made eye contact. Only then did I remember Lin Maoxian was still inside. I quickly closed the bathroom door. I kept apologizing in a panic. I felt like I could die right there. Wait, how come he made no sound while applying lotion? I completely forgot someone was in there. Zhao Fan, what are you trying to do? His voice didn't reveal any emotions. Maoxian, I honestly forgot there was someone inside. How could you forget? Why would you use that as an excuse? You said you wanted to watch. You wanted to do it together. Or you wanted to do something else. I would think that's all normal. What do you mean by forgot? At this moment, he couldn't quite hide the confusion and astonishment in his tone. I was still panicking just now. But before I could react, Li Maoxian was already coming out in her bathrobe, while I was still naked. Sure enough, Li Maoxian glanced at me as she walked by. She squinted at me out of the corner of her eye. She immediately turned and kicked me into the bathroom. Who are you showing off for? Hurry up and wash up and go to sleep. I started washing up, but then I realized I didn't know how to use the shower controls. Normally I could use them just fine, but the shower controls at the Zhao house are designed in a really abstract way. I've been fiddling with it for ages and still can't figure it out. Maoxian, I don't know how to use the shower controls. The shower head won't run water. Hold on, I'm coming. Li Maoxian walked over to me. She was probably blow-drying her hair just now. Her hair was still hanging down and smelled nice. She adjusted the water temperature for me with her nimble fingers. Then she gave me a cool look and said, "And you even got abs." She made a light compliment and left gracefully. After my shower, Li Maoxian had already laid out clothes for me. She helped me put on a bathrobe. Tied the waist tight. Sleep now. I'm turning off the lights. In the early morning, sunlight blew through the gaps in the curtains. My body suddenly trembled. Finally, I heard the foreman call roll, and I woke up with a start. When I looked at the decorations above me, I felt totally relieved. No need to worry about being late. I turned my head to glance at Li Maoxian. She was gone, though her warmth still lingered. We were actually very disciplined last night. All I did was hug her. All right, I think we kissed. That's all, nothing else happened. I heard sounds from the bathroom. Li Maoxian must have been washing up. I really didn't want to get out of bed. I don't think I've ever really experienced what it's like to sleep in. You're awake. She asked what time it was. 6:35. Li Maoxian probably had a toothbrush in her mouth and sounded muffled. Why are you up so early? I don't get it. Who does that? The first time I sleep with you and we both end up sleeping in. What would your mom think of me? Plus, you were muttering about the foreman all night. About drinking 5-cent soy milk. How could I sleep? I sighed. It's such a habit. And it's really not a good one. The foreman's fierce glare is burned into my memory. Li Maoxian went to say good morning to Wen Qian. I lay in bed. After 6 a.m., I couldn't sleep anymore. I got up and put on my bathrobe. Opened the door to the balcony. The eastern sun shone on my face. I've never seen such a gentle sun. On the little wicker table or some herbal tea made by Li Meoxian. I sat down and poured myself a cup. It tasted refreshing and pleasant. Not long after, Li Meoxian dragged me downstairs to eat breakfast. Through the glass window, I was eating pea and beef cubes, while looking at a few supercars in the yard. They were being towed over. Those are the two supercars that Uncle and Aunt gave me yesterday. One is an extremely valuable, collectible Ferrari Enzo. The other is a Bugatti for everyday driving. The Bugatti Veyron GT is pretty awesome too. Of course, the Cullinan my dad gave me is great as well. Now, here's the problem. Beauty, let's go! I don't have a driver's license. I heard Li Meoxian already knows how to fly those little planes. Seriously. The gap between people is even bigger than the gap between people and dogs. Even though she's my fiancé, Gramps still likes to have a little drink in the morning. Originally, Grandpa Zhao was about to have a drink with his real grandson. But when he saw the looks on Wang Qian's and Li Meoxian's faces,
He had no choice but to drop it.
I never imagined there'd be meat for breakfast, and that I'd be able to get strong too. Seems like Meoxian prefers the strong type. Halfway through breakfast, a group of lawyers arrived. At the estate, I barely got to taste my food, so I had to quickly stuff myself. Then I had to rush out for work. Li Meoxian tapped my chopsticks. Don't rush, they're waiting for you. Not the other way around. Finish eating and rest a bit before heading over. I felt a bit overwhelmed. Is eating really that exhausting? And I still need a break, but I didn't voice my doubts. I just nodded along cooperatively. After hesitating for a moment, I ended up feeling ashamed of my own hesitation. It's always people inside calling me over now. But actually, I have my own way of doing things too. Maybe I could say something he hasn't heard before. Meoxian, I think even if we're just employees, I still believe respecting others is always a virtue. This kind of virtue might not bring us any tangible benefits, but I think when we earn our way, our hearts and character become richer. We'll get a bit more comfort within. I almost never speak up for my own convictions, my character and reasoning, so my voice came out a bit formal and nervous. Meoxian gently put down her chopsticks. She paused in silence, then softly said, I'm sorry. I understand. I'll change from now on. She genuinely sounded humble and accepting, even if she might still be confused and a little helpless inside. I was genuinely surprised inside. Can't believe Li Meoxian backed down that easily. And it's not just Li Meoxian. Even my family members sitting at the table seemed a little moved too. Zhao Zhichang thought for a moment and asked a question. What if your respect gets misunderstood by others? What then? Let me give you an example. Suppose you're a billionaire, and you show respect to someone less well off, whose status isn't as high as yours, who's pursuing success at any cost.
Tell me.
How will your respect and kindness affect you? I was honestly stumped by that. After thinking for a long time, I finally managed to say, as long as I have a clear conscience. I felt a little heavy with the book in my arms. I reached into my arms and pulled out a beautiful book, randomly opened to a page. There it read, Gentle and graceful lady, a worthy match for a gentleman. On another page, the path to Peng Mountain isn't far. The bluebird eagerly brings news. The poetry collection was exquisitely bound. Everyone eating at the table saw me pull out a book. And just as they wondered, I slid the book over to Li Meoxian. Meoxian, this poetry collection is for you. She looked at me with calm eyes, took it and opened to a page, then another, and another. After a while, she gave a small smile. Thank you, Zhao Fan. I really like it. I dumbly nodded my head.
He smiled. It was the first time I've seen him smile.
But before a moment passed, Li Meoxian hid her smile again and turned indifferent. She carefully put her book aside. It seemed like that fleeting smile was just for me to see. Why are you just standing there, looking dumb? The girl's voice was very soft. She gently nudged my leg with her toe. Oh, okay. After finishing breakfast, I went to see the lawyers. The issue of the inheritance is pretty serious. I know that too, but when I saw written on the document that I was to inherit 6 billion, I was completely stunned. Isn't 600 billion a bit too much? I feel like just being brought back. I got hit with a massive surprise. Am I going to go crazy from all this soon? I forced myself to be patient and gripped the pen tightly. Confused, I wrote my name in the signature box. Then this document still has to be reviewed by Zhao Zhicheng and old Mr. Zhao. After all, this huge household will all fall on my shoulders in the future. I left the lawyer's lounge with a painful grimace. When I saw Li Miaoxian, I just couldn't hold it in anymore. My jaw literally dropped. Even though I didn't make a sound, Li Miaoxian pointed out the window. That's when I saw that a bunch of supercars had shown up at our house. All the young masters from Beijing have come looking for you. Go on, go hang out with them. But I can't drive. The house will find you a driver for the supercar. You just sit in the passenger seat. Go have fun. And come home early tonight. I'll stay at your place for a few days. I found the butler. The butler really turned around immediately and got me a driver. So the Bugatti hit the road. I was added to the group chat. A special app. It's a chat group for Beijing's rich kids. Young master, send us a red envelope. Yeah, young master. It's our first time meeting. Shouldn't you send a red envelope to celebrate joining the group? Of course, when the young master makes an entrance, it has to be grand. These people already had their drivers introduce each other. I myself belong to the son of the richest family in Beijing. So I'm the young master. Almost all these young masters come from wealthy business families. That's why they're able to pull off all these high-profile antics. I stared at the group chat, totally confused. After thinking for a bit, I still decided to send a 50 yuan red envelope in this 13-person group. 3 seconds later, the group went wild. Wow, 66. The total is 50 yuan, damn. I only got 0.01 yuan. I've never gotten such a tiny share in my life. The young master really lives up to his name. As expected, that's an impressive move. Young master, you're awesome. Young master, you're incredible. I looked down at their chat, frowned and thought for a moment. I still felt like I had to change the subject. Tried to shift everyone's attention away from me. So I typed Luck King on my phone, and then sent another red envelope. Suddenly, the group chat fell silent. Not sure if they were too scared or just unwilling to respond. So I could only ask again, who's the second young master? Come on out, let's get acquainted. Miao Qingshin kept an eye on the chat while driving. When he saw the words second young master, he knew he couldn't escape being the Luck King this time. So the car slowed down. And without hesitation, he put 500,000 yuan in the red envelope. I was already watching the screen closely. As soon as the red envelope popped up, I immediately tapped on it. 178,000 yuan, wow, that's a lot. I suddenly got nervous. Then I saw Wang Shi collect 190,000 yuan, and I finally relaxed. Turns out grabbing red envelopes is actually this fun. After everyone finished grabbing this round, the Luck King didn't have to send another one. Instead, someone calling himself the third young master sent out 500,000 yuan without hesitation. I didn't have to split my focus between driving. But this round, I got 126,000 yuan. After a while, I checked my total earnings, and it was already close to over 700,000 yuan. Kind of unbelievable. A bunch of guys who basically have nothing to do every day could send out a 1,000,000 yuan red envelope with a single tap. Where does all their money come from? I didn't think too much about it. Anyway, it's definitely faster than working a labor job. The funny thing is, by the time it was the 7th or 8th young master's turn, these guys couldn't even wait anymore. Afraid they'd turn out to be the lowest in the group, they kept raising the envelope amounts, terrified of being seen for what they are. I couldn't help but smile. As expected of this group of young masters, or maybe I just haven't gotten used to my own role yet. Honestly, I don't really get this kind of flexing. Showing off is just their way of interacting. Still, that doesn't stop me from blending in with this circle. So I typed in the chat box. If you don't have enough money, just send less. We're all here for fun. Don't stress too much about the money. On the surface, those words sounded pretty noble, but it just added fuel to the fire. The few guys who hadn't sent a red envelope yet didn't even wait for the previous one to be over and started sending them like crazy. I was grinning from ear to ear. The total amount in envelopes had already surpassed 1,000,000. This kind of thrill, getting something for nothing, just makes you feel ultra refreshed. Honestly, I thought I wouldn't fit in with these rich kids, but I actually managed to join right in. But I quickly changed my mind, because as we got closer to our destination, they told me we were playing Frisbee. But in my mind, Isn't Frisbee something you play with a dog? Isn't it about a dog running back and forth fetching the disc? Busy fetching the Frisbee. Where's the fun in that? I just resigned myself to hanging out and clearing my head. But the Frisbee field had a lot of people. Yet I didn't see a single dog anywhere. When all those supercars pulled up together, it really shocked the passers-by. With a setup like that in Beijing, most people wouldn't dare mess with us. I saw a bunch of young women coming out of the square, getting closer to us. On a closer look, every one of their faces had the same doctor's touch.
And
The makeup made them all look unrecognizable. They started to gather around the direction of the supercars, almost blocking the car doors. A few of the guys were talking with the girls through the car windows, and I couldn't help smacking my lips in amusement. With the car door blocked, I wasn't nervous. Who cares if my driver couldn't get out? I just calmly opened the front passenger door and quietly slipped outside the circle of girls. All their eyes were on the guys getting out of the supercars, just like my own driver right now, getting all flustered as a crowd of 18 to 20-year-old girls chatted him up until he blushed. I stood by the fence, watching for a bit, then walked to the entrance. I got stopped. "Excuse me, sir. Which group are you with?" I pointed to Mao Kanching's guys. "I'm with them." The doorman was very polite. "My clothes are all custom luxury designer pieces." His attitude was courteous. In a low voice, he said, "Sir, Mr. Mao's group is the highest level event here. Joining will require a financial check." I frowned, not sure why some dog activity costs so much, and quietly stood to the side. I'll wait to see what the rest of the group says. Honestly, I'm pretty nervous. Worried my 2.4 billion balance. If I show it at the entrance, they'll think I'm faking it. I really just want to avoid any extra trouble. But now that things have gotten this far, I'm extremely curious about this so-called Frisbee sport, until Mao Kangxing and a few others finally broke away from all the attention from the girls and remembered they were supposed to be hosting the young master today. Mao hardly brushed aside the girl blocking his view and started searching for me. By then, I'd already been waiting outside the entrance for a while, seemingly blocked by the clueless doorman. How can they not recognize him? That's the biggest young master in Beijing. Mao Kangxing shouted to the doorman from a distance. "You might not know my big brother, but you don't know me either? I was just here yesterday. Isn't my face worth anything?" I watched as Mao Kangxing came storming over. I wanted to tell him it was a misunderstanding, but I was too late. "You don't respect my big brother, so what's the point in recognizing me?" Mao Kangxing started slapping himself hard in the face, making the doorman stagger in shock. I was stunned myself and hurried over to stop Mao Kangxing from hitting himself. No need to go this far just to get close to me, right? The doorman was completely stunned.
he'd never seen anything like this.
Some of the sharper young guys quickly stepped up and introduced me. "This is the biggest young master in Beijing. He was in yesterday's Beijing Daily. The heir that was found is him, so make sure to remember him in the future." I silently turned away, rubbing my face. What kind of cringy introduction was that? Just hearing that young master was enough. I got goosebumps all over my body after he finished the introduction. I still turned my head, gave a slight smile, then quickly put it away. We better head in early. The environment inside is really nice. But everyone kept walking without stopping. It seems like the destination is all the way in the back. Glass floors. Walking all the way to the deepest yard, it came into view. A spacious lawn with minimalist lounge tables and chairs. What really catches the eye is the group of girls already whispering softly. This time, it's not just me. All the young guys were stopped. Only those with deposits over 50 million can enter. Mao Kangxing and the others nodded at me. "This is the most exclusive place you can go. The girls inside are all top-notch. They really know how to serve people." He gave me a look. I frowned in confusion. Why do I feel like I'm visiting a brothel?
But I
Also pulled out my phone, trying to fit in, and showed it to the manager. The male manager wore black-framed glasses, examining the numbers carefully. But as he kept counting, he noticed something unusual. My balance seemed unreal. 2.4 billion? Number. Damn, it's 24 billion. The manager quickly looked up and happened to meet my deep, meaningful gaze. He nodded earnestly, indicating he wouldn't say a word. And as he turned to leave, he quietly told me, "You'll never have to pay here again." I nodded. "I like that you don't charge me anything." The Frisbee game officially began. I went in with a group of young guys. When the female coach started explaining the rules, that's when I realized it's not what I thought. It's a regular Frisbee game between people. This sport has a bit of a mixed nature. Soccer's positioning, basketball's passing, football's scoring. It's a bit abstract. Of course, anything that attracts young people isn't usually very proper. The coach left. I could clearly see the young men's faces light up instantly. They started playing. I just sat on the side watching. Just as I expected, someone really did take the dog's place. They enthusiastically engaged in physical contact, not to mention those who blatantly fell down, trying their best to show off their body shape. I felt bored, but I was just sitting on the side anyway. Still, some girls kept their eyes on me. But after 10 minutes, the young men and women suddenly didn't want to play anymore. It was all because of my participation. Every time I threw the frisbee, I would casually shout, "Go!" Just like calling my own golden retriever to bring back the frisbee. No one wanted to grab it or pick it up. They just didn't feel like playing anymore. If we keep playing, it feels like our dignity is being insulted. All right, everyone's done playing. Sitting on the side chatting with their girlfriends jokingly, talking about everything, mostly bragging and showing off. Honestly, I envy them. After all, among today's young people, those who can relax without any mental burden are really rare. I feel like for the first 18 years of my life, I went through all the hardships one should experience in a lifetime. I've been through them all. So for the rest of my life, all I should do is enjoy life. Anything else? Honestly, I'm just not interested. Wanting to keep the vast family business of the Zhao family. I've thought about it for a long time. For example, why is it that a young heir from an ultra-rich family never stays rich for more than 3 generations? There's only one reason. It's the second generation. And the third generation always feel they're better than the first, thinking they can build an even bigger fortune. But usually it ends in failed ventures and a lot of wasted effort. The family declines rapidly. Besides that, it's not just about being distracted by toys. Even becoming a gambling addict, he still couldn't squander all the family's wealth. The money is really endless. I consider myself an ordinary person. So even if I slack off for 10 lifetimes, I wouldn't run out of money. Why bother trying so hard? The group has plenty of talented people. They don't need me. At most, while enjoying life, I see if the system gives me good stuff that might benefit the family. If it does, I'll use it carefully. Maybe by doing this, it'll be more effective than forcing myself into family affairs. Enjoying the moment is better. Enjoy the present. After the Frisbee game ended, this group of girls seemed to transform. Arrogant before, now suddenly polite. Very attentive, mostly because the young men didn't hassle them much. Really, just a back massage. Passing them water, things like that. Nothing inappropriate. After all, these high-end girls aren't short on money. There are plenty of older men who like them. I left with these young men, walking out of the Frisbee Plaza, past a few overpasses. It's already midday. A summer water-themed hotel park. A high-end place to cool off in the summer. The water park is huge. After entering, the young men went straight to their private swimming area. From the moment we entered, the manager came to greet this group of walking gold. I entered a big room. Inside was a private pool over 20 square meters. Air conditioning was on. Right by the pool was a standard hotel-sized bed. Bathing and entertainment facilities. Chilled sodas. Sweet fruit snacks. This really is a great place to cool off in summer. I can start learning to swim. Never had the chance to try it before. Now I'll slowly catch up on everything. Changed into my swimsuit. As I walked out of the changing room, my phone rang. Picked up the phone. I paused for a moment. This number seems familiar. I answered the call. I greeted politely, "Hello. May I ask who's calling?" No sound on the other end. I asked again, "May I ask who's calling?" The voice on Zhao Fan's phone was extremely calm, even a bit refined, just a slight quiver in her tone. When I heard that voice, I instantly sobered up. "Is it Wan Ning?" I spoke gently over time. My girlfriend Bai Wanning. High school sweethearts. I was the one who broke up after graduation. Why did you quietly delete me without a word? I stammered, unable to speak. I deleted it by accident. Really? The girl's voice was elegant, but a little choked at the moment. I asked the homeroom teacher. He said your score was enough for Peking University. Why didn't you keep our promise? Why did you secretly change your preferred school? Why did you pick Nanjing University since it's closer to home? I thought it would be more convenient for school. Going to Peking University would require a significant yearly travel expense, spending even more money. You know my situation. There's a big gap between us. I spoke sincerely, each word heartfelt. It was truly as honest as I could be. But I told you, I'll cover your schooling costs. I have my own pocket money. I've never cared about your money. Fan, don't you understand me? I found a chair and sat down. Sincerely, I said, I think there's too much difference between us. I might not be able to give you the beautiful life you want. Really, you'd have a better future. I wasn't finished before I was interrupted. Don't be like that, okay? I love you. My family has money to spend. I don't need a man to be rich. I just want to be with someone I love. Fan, please don't be like this, okay? Did you forget all our vows and promises? I swallowed a breath. Finally, I said, there's another situation now. We're not really suitable. It's because of me. Really, I don't want to hurt you. Is it about your birth parents? I went to your house yesterday to find you. But your neighbor said you had already left. I made it clear. There's another girl. 18 years ago, both families decided she would be a part of my entire life. So by wanting, I'm the one who let you down. For me, you're really not worth it. The other end of the phone was silent for a long time. She probably understood what I meant, not saying anything for a while, just holding the phone like that. Then I heard crying. Bai Wanning was a very gentle girl, the kindest girl I've ever met in my life. If it weren't for Li Maoxian, I would have settled down yesterday after everything. Find Bai Wanning's contact information as soon as possible. I want to know how Wanning feels. I'm absolutely willing. I hope she meets someone who's truly devoted to her. It would be best if she leaves with disappointment. I'd rather be a jerk in her heart, a shameless, filthy animal, than let her fall too deeply, be too obsessed with a love that has no future. If I end up with Li Maoxian, I really won't be worthy of Bai Wanning. A girl like her is a gift from heaven, kind and gentle. I silently wait for her to hang up the phone. This process, my heart is filled with panic and helplessness. I can't let go, but I'm too hurt. It's like my heart is being twisted by a knife. I can hear Wanning sobbing. Hang up now. I force myself to sound colder. My eyes are getting red now. The call hasn't been disconnected. The sobbing continues. What are you still waiting for? Just yell at me. Go away, get out of here. Okay. I don't like you anymore. I screamed at my phone. Xiaofan, where are you? Can I come find you? Can I just take a look from afar? The girl still can't let go. Speaking in a pleading tone, I wipe away my tears. Force the sob down. Keep yelling into the phone. Why are you coming? To be the third party. Can you just leave, please? Don't waste my time. I'm with him now. After I finish speaking, I hang up the call, grab a drink and chug it. Look up at the sky, unable to calm down for a long time. In the end, I still had the driver take me away. Next time, wait until those young people go out again. Then follow them out. There might still be something going on with the spirit. I need to go back again. Left a bit too hurriedly. Li Maoxian is raising cochineal bugs on the balcony. Can't get away. He saw me come home. Didn't look too happy. He was just a little surprised. But he still opened his mouth to speak. Why did you come back so soon? Didn't you hang out a bit longer? I stayed silent. I went into my bedroom alone. Laid down and slept with my head up. Both alcohol and sleep can ease sorrow. Right now, all I want is for that silly girl to stop being so stubborn. There are so many good men out there every day. But I'm just a jerk, Xiaofan. 5 p.m. That's when I finally woke up slowly. On the desk nearby, Li Maoxian seemed to be using the computer, dealing with school matters. This time, he's really coming back to school. With his grades and the influence of the Zhao and Li families, it's enough for him to stay with me at Jinling University. You're awake. There's water on your right, she asked, and I replied softly. Even if something was on my mind, I wouldn't take my emotions out on Li Maoxian. Got up from the bed. As I was just about to head to the bathroom, It was already the end of the story. Li Maoxian's voice came from behind me. While you were sleeping, a girl called. She asked where you were. I told her. My steps froze. I turned to look at Li Maoxian. Maoxian is a good girl. I don't want to drag her into this. So, should I give up my place to her? The one you like. You don't even go after yourself. She's such a great person. Why let someone else have her? Or is it because she's too good, and having to share you with other women feels unfair to her? So then, what am I, Li Maoxian? Why should I have to share you with other women? I just don't want, because of me, for you to give up the one you love. That would be your lifelong regret. I don't object. People of our class, people like you who will inherit trillions someday. Why do you still have to make a choice like ordinary people? Why not just choose them all if you really like them? If you like them, you really can have them all. Zhao Fan, you still haven't gotten used to your status. You're no longer that poor kid you were. His voice was soft, but powerful. Each word hit my heart like a hammer. I opened my mouth but couldn't say a word. I thought after a nap, I could let all these things go, at least for a little while, not think about the consequences. But it seemed like Li Maoxian was determined to wake me up to reality. Maybe that's what my mother, Wang Qian, wanted too. I looked at my phone, seeing several missed calls from Bai Wanning. I felt torn. If I choose not to let go, I'll need to use my own way to keep her by my side. Those ways have nothing to do with money or status. I just need one reason, to make her accept that situation. I've thought about it but realized the pressure, so I wanted to give up. Li Maoxian really is a good helper in some ways. At least she can enlighten me. Zhao Zhichang came back, holding a watch case in his hand. It's his collection from when he was young, kept in the company. Now that his son is back, of course he'd bring it for me to play with. Patek Philippe, Vacherin Constantin, Richard Mille, and Frank Muller. Custom Rolexes. Over 20 watches in a case. He gave them all to me, worth about 200 or 300 million. The long pavilion at sunset. The glass round table was bright and shiny. I opened the watch case and checked out each watch one by one. I still held my phone in my hand, along with a booklet on high-end watches, studying the watches with a magnifying glass. Li Maoxian sat quietly beside him, making tea, and slicing up some fruit for me, until it was time for dinner. The butler hurried over to me, told me a young lady was at the manor gate. I finally felt relieved. I was both looking forward to it and afraid of what was about to happen. But when she actually arrived, my heart was unexpectedly calm. Li Maoxian was right. If I think she's great, why let another man have her? I don't know either. With Bai Wanning's gentle and kind nature, who knows how many times she get hurt in relationships, how much hardship she endure, before she finds her true love in life. She's too easily taken advantage of. The butler left. I carefully packed each watch back into the case, picked up a glass of water and took a sip, let out a deep breath. Then I finally turned to look at Li Maoxian. Go ahead, it's not something to be ashamed of. Be good to her. The house is big. If she doesn't mind, she can stay over tonight. She didn't even look up, just handed me 2 peeled apples. I didn't know how to respond to Li Maoxian treating me this way. So as I walked behind her, I turned back, bent down and kissed her cold cheek. She was still indifferent. At the manor gate, Wang Qian had already heard the news, so she came to greet us. The moment she saw Bai Wanning, she broke out in a big smile. Bai Wanning was very fair-skinned. Her looks, figure, and intelligence were all top tier. A true campus beauty and straight-A student. But she seemed unwell. Her eyes were red and swollen, like she'd been crying for a long time. Wang Qian also noticed another detail. Bai Wanning drove a white Ferrari. At least we're a good match for each other. Before I got there, Wang Qian went up to warmly comfort her, hastily apologized to her for me, and explained my difficulties. Auntie, I know. I just wanted to see him. Did you come from Beijing? No, I usually live in Jinling. I flew over this afternoon. Wow, that's so far. You came straight here from the airport? That brat Zhao Fan doesn't know how to care for you, making you travel so far to see him. Come on in, thank you. Thank you so much. Before she could finish speaking, Bai Wanning just froze there. It's been almost a month since she last saw me. She actually missed me a lot. When this big guy appeared in her sight again, there's no way she didn't feel happy. But she couldn't help feeling wronged, regretting not coming to see me sooner. Wang Qian saw her son coming over, so she quickly gestured and walked away. Xiaofen tears welled up in Bai Waning's eyes. She wanted to run into my arms. No more high school rules or academic constraints. The two of us should be inseparable now. But things have already gotten out of her control, far beyond what she can handle. I walked over, gently wiped away the tears from her eyes with my finger. While she was still in a daze, I slipped both arms around her waist, wrapping her tight. Wanting, you came to me yourself. Now you're not allowed to leave. Why is it that I can come and go as I please? If I want to leave, I will. You can't stop me. Did I say you could touch my waist? Sound of gentle sobbing, but I never want to let go again. I grabbed the girl and pulled her through the flowers in the front yard, took the small elevator upstairs, didn't go to my own bedroom, instead brought the girl to the study, gave her an apple to eat. Did you peel this for me? He peeled it for you. He told me to treat you well. When I said those words, my face felt burning hot, but I had no choice. Sometimes things need to be clear, and you should also be direct when you speak. Even if people call you shameless, you have to go for it. Bai Wanning looked down, staring blankly at the apple in her hand. The apple was carefully peeled. It was so delicate I stood next to her, breathing. The atmosphere was so oppressively still, like everything was frozen. Finally, I heard a soft sigh. Hard to decipher, but saw the girl nibbling on the apple, eating while tears ran down her face, crying in silence. My heart was bleeding. It hurt so much inside. I'd rather Bai Wanning would just yell at me more, or hit me a few times, even slap my face with her shoe sole if she wanted. But instead, she handled it in this quietly enduring way, making my heart ache. Sis, the apple you peeled tastes so good. When she called me sis, my heart clenched hard. I closed my eyes in silence and spoke hoarsely. Forget it, Wanning. You're a good girl. I am not worthy, crack. A crisp sound echoed. A red slap mark appeared on my face. A small handprint emerged. The girl's voice was choked with tears. I can let go of everything and take a step toward you. But you're telling me to leave you. I came all this way to pick you up. Was it just to hear you say this? I don't want anything else. I just want you. Don't you get it yet? Where's your courage? When you asked me to be your one and only girl, you were never this hesitant back then. Xiaofen, please don't let me down, okay? Bai Wanning gently leaned in and buried her face in my chest. Her voice carried a hint of grievance. You have to be good to me. Otherwise, I will really be hurt. I was at a loss for words. I didn't even have the face to say anything. Maybe I just don't have that kind of selfless love. I always feel a strong sense of guilt doing this. I don't like making promises. I just know I probably won't let you down anymore. I won't make you sad. Bai Wanning nodded softly. So what are we now? She finally asked. She wanted to hear my thoughts. She needed to know her place in my heart. After hesitating for a moment, I said, you're my girlfriend. In a few years, I'll find a chance to propose to your family. Suddenly, Bai Wanning took my hand and placed it on her waist. You're at that age now. Don't think just because I'm quiet and refined that you shouldn't seek physical happiness with me. I'll be a good girlfriend. My hand just rested quietly on her waist. In that moment, I felt no desire at all. After all, we still have to believe in love. Life's beauty is always there no matter if you see it or not. Sometimes, you just need to open your eyes brighter. Walk with steady steps, and happiness comes all of a sudden, just like now, as the two of us embrace. Li Maoxian quietly entered the room and silently stood behind us watching for a moment. She set the fruit plate down and slipped away quietly herself. Fortunately, Bai Wanning didn't see her. I let out a slow sigh of relief. Wanning, you're at Peking University, and I'm at Nanda. How can I keep you company? Bai Wanning said seriously. I'll fly to your university on weekends. Everyone else has a girlfriend, so you will too. Even if you don't ask for some things, I'll still find out from others. Whatever other boyfriends give, I'll give you too. She finished speaking and pressed my hand to her chest. Back in high school, you liked sneaking glances at my chest. Did you think I didn't notice? At the time, studies came first. so I had to ignore your needs. I was afraid it would affect your studies. Bai Wanin's eyes were clear. She understood everything about men and women. But she's 100 times more straightforward than those pretentious girls. She wouldn't fake shyness. She wasn't stiff or reserved. Since from the very start, she felt she could spend her life with Zhao Fan. She would surely satisfy all a boyfriend's wishes and fantasies about his girlfriend. Yeah, you can stay at my place when you go to college. After all, Peking University is in Beijing. Upon hearing that, Bai Wanin replied, My family also has a place in Beijing, but I'll visit your parents when I have time. The thing is, I haven't introduced you to my family yet. Actually, my mom's always wanted to meet you. I nodded. We definitely need to make a trip when there's time. Bai Wanin came out of my arms and looked up to ask, Where's my sister? Why isn't she here? I want to talk to her. My heart suddenly skipped a beat. I didn't want to say I was annoyed. Sooner or later, they have to meet anyway. Might as well meet early. Bai Wanin was still so gentle. I couldn't bring myself to refuse her. She should be on the first floor. I'll take you to find her. But just as I finished speaking, Li Maoxian walked in from outside. Looking at Bai Wanin, she said to me, You go check on dinner. Make a few more dishes. Don't neglect her. I glanced at Bai Wanin, then turned and left. Sigh, I couldn't stop her. Sure enough, she'd just left the room, when with a click, the door was locked behind her. It wasn't until dinner started that I, feeling uneasy, opened the study where the two girls were sitting. Their conversation was very quiet. I couldn't really hear what they said. Judging by the tone, there wasn't any argument or conflict. I just hope nothing unpleasant happens. Xiaofan, come here a sec. Li Maoxian spoke up. Only then did I realize my cover was blown. So I walked over openly. The two girls were sitting on separate sofas. Your fiancé spoke softly, her voice slightly cold. I won't sit. I like standing. There are only 2 sofas here. Who do you want me to sit with? Where to sit? This time, there was a hint of annoyance in her tone. It felt like a storm was coming. You could sense a storm was about to break.